Okay, so I'm back. Hopefully the camera will keep running. It shut itself off. I don't know if it got too hot or what. It's been doing weird stuff all day. Anyway, I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas. Actually, I'm in Benton, Arkansas. And I cut over here on little roads, and I got on to 440 and I-30. Just enough to get around Little Rock so I can get off and go over to Hot Springs. So I got 5 more miles to go to the Hot Springs exit. So that's where I'm headed. Not going to stay on the interstate any longer than that. So I've actually successfully managed not to spend any more than about half an hour on the interstate. And I had to jump off of the interstate, back up about 5 miles because there was a backup. I just happened to be at an exit, so I took the exit and zipped on around and came back up beyond the blockage. So it didn't really slow me down much, thank God. So I'm ready to go home. Still 400 miles from home. It's about 350 miles from Hot Springs, from the west side of Hot Springs to home for me. But this is a road that I've run 100 times. I'm taking Highway 70 over. It's very simple. Just into Hot Springs on 70, out of Hot Springs on 70, over across Oklahoma into Broken Bow, and then Atoka, and then over, basically from Atoka, it's kind of more or less a straight shot over to Wynnewood, and then home. So I'm well on my way. It's about 6 hours from Hot Springs. So I'm trying to keep moving here. Check your speed. Okay, all right. I am actually at the correct speed, which is with the flow. In this tight, crimpy, skimpy spot, with the flow is the correct speed. Wow, there's a lot of water down there in that hole. Everything around here is full to overflowing. All the creeks, all the rivers. Lots and lots and lots of water. So it's been a wet spring so far, evidently. We should not have any problems with drought this year, at least for the foreseeable future, I would say. We still need a lot more rain to fill things up from where they fell off to last year. The lakes are still not full in Oklahoma, but over on this side of the hill, it looks like everything's pretty wet. So I got almost 3 more miles to my exit. It's not quite 3. I'll be glad to get back off the interstate. I can handle little fits and starts. I've been on this interstate maybe 30, 40 minutes, and I already pissed off one truck driver, and I don't even know what I did. So I just, laughed and flipped him off, and, just let him figure it out. I don't know what his problem was. I was in the slow lane, letting him go around, and he was honking and carrying on. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what your deal is. Maybe he wasn't mad at me. I don't know. I take it personally when people do that when they're right beside me or right behind me, though. So, So I don't know if I pissed him off or not, but he kind of pissed me off, so I flipped him off. I admit it. I did it. And I would do it again under the same circumstances. Because, I just would. I know, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Well, this interstate is fucking crazy. That's what's crazy. And this road sucks so bad. This thing's been under construction ever since I started running over here. This was like 2 years ago now. And this construction has not progressed any that I can tell. None. It's just like it was. As far as I can tell, I could be wrong, but it doesn't look any different. It's still a really sucky, tight, squinchy hole that you got to fit through here. And I'm kind of glad I'm not hauling over here very much to Benton because of that, because the road's so bad. It's just freaking awful. But it's a good shortcut. to get around Hot Spring, or get around Little Rock. I did not want to run all the way through Little Rock. I ran 70 clear over to 440, and then I hopped up on that onto 30, and then I'll get back off on 70. So it's just a hop to get me from 70 to 70, because that 70 gets lost somewhere in Little Rock. I have no idea where, and I didn't want to try and traverse through it and be sitting at stoplights and all that business. So, especially when I knew I could just hop over here and take this exit. So we're just about ready to get off the interstate, thank God. This interstate sucks. I-30 has always sucked, and it still sucks. It's a horrible, horrible road, and I'm really glad that I don't have to ride it. We'll just get off right here. I'm done. That's all I have to do. I'm not doing no more. So that's the end of the interstate for me. And I think 40 minutes of interstate, when that was more than enough. Thank you very much. That's all I want for the rest of the week. And you know, I'll probably have to do some more interstate next week. I don't know. I'm not worried about that till I get it. I don't have any jobs lined up, and I hope that I don't get anything till maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, so I can have a couple of full days off. Because this for me is a work day. It's Saturday, but it's still a work day for me. It's not a fun day. All right. This is good. This is very, very good. Poor old deer. Dang. They should get brutalized. They run out in the road like that. It's usually big damn trucks that hit them. So it looks like I'm going to get home about 9. Right down in here's where I used to deliver parts. Oil field parts. It had to be, I think it was a powder coating place. It was up in there. This is where it actually gets to be more interesting, because we're going to go up in the mountains from here. This is just going to get us around to the other part of town until we can get back on 70. Just one of my old shortcuts. I don't know if it's really a shortcut or not, but it's more picturesque than continuing on the loop there. It's kind of neat looking down in here, actually. There's a big lake over here to our left. And these places are variously situated around it. Not seen any dogwoods in here. I'm hoping up in the mountains we'll see some though, because I know there are a lot of them up there. Some springs you go up there and you just, stunned by how pretty they are and how many there are. Okay, I got to loop around here. It's a goofy loop around thing. Loop-de-loop. Round and round we go. It seems funny to call this a shortcut, but now we're going to go out across the lake. Once we get around all this business. Junction 70, yay. This is where I was getting to. So that was a lot more scenic than the other way. I don't know if it was any faster. It was probably about the same. Certainly was more scenic. I know, it's crazy, huh? I'm gonna reset this thing. Try and get it situated a little better. Dang it. Sorry about this. I at least got it to kind of sit still, I think, to stay put where I put it, maybe. We will see. This is always a long light. It doesn't matter which way I go, this way or around the other way, I always get stuck at this light. Here we go. Come on, sister. All right. Okay, here we go. I think we're going across the lake here now. Getting ready to. Yeah. Let's get up here on the bridge. Get over in the right lane. So maybe you can see a little bit off the bridge. I don't know. See that there's a lake out there. This is, I think it's Hot Springs Lake. Or Lake Wichita, maybe. Yeah, it's Lake Wichita. There's little condos built all up along the edges of this lake, all the way around. It's like there's no natural shoreline much left of it. There's all people living all the way around it, elbow to elbow. Well, I don't know if they're living there, but they're staying there when they come to see it anyway. When they come to Hot Springs to vacation or whatever, that's what they do, evidently. And that stuff to me is of very little interest. Going and staying at a spa or whatever. I don't have any interest in that. What I like about this part of the country, and I wish I had time to do it, is up at Mount Ida. There's a crystal mine, rock crystal mine, and it's really fun to go to. And you can pay them $10 or $20, and you can go in and you can haul out as much crystal as you can load up in your car. And you go in there with a 5-gallon bucket and fill it up pretty quick. You can find yard pieces. I've got a lot of yard rocks that came out of there, and I've got some really nice small crystal pieces that came out of there. The best crystal I've ever found is about, I don't know, 4 inches long maybe. It's double terminated. It's got termini on both ends, and it's got little baby crystals attached to it. And and it's about 4 inches long. It's like a little wand. It's really cool. It's really a neat crystal, neat formation. But that's where that came from, was Mount Ida, the Coleman mine. So if you're ever up in this area of Arkansas and you're looking for something to do for you and the kids would love that, I'm sure. Go out and start pulling those crystals out of the banks. So what they do at the Coleman mine is they have a big pile of tailings from the mines, and that's where I found that really nice one, and I found a lot of big yard rocks in there too. But they pile up these tailings, and you park right across from them, and you can take your lawn chair and some buckets, and you just go sit out there and go through the dirt. Or you can do the way I did, and I got up and walked the top of the tailing piles. That's like a mesa up there. If you climb up it, you can walk along, you know, where they've dumped it in rows and find the stuff that washes out when it rains. That's a really good way to find nice individual pieces. But yeah, that's really cool to do. But I don't like going by myself. I'd rather go with somebody up there. And it's not directly on my way home. I would have to go back the other way up through, up farther up past the hot springs and up the Mount Ida Road. The other thing that's interesting in this area to me is Crater of Diamonds State Park, because you can go in there and find real diamonds. I mean, it's a natural diamond deposit. It's an ancient volcano lava tube, I guess, some kind of tube that has brought up all these diamonds and minerals and different kinds of stones. You can find little tiny chips of stuff. I mean, there's nothing in there very big. They've found quite a few big diamonds in there, but by big diamond I mean, you know, a gigantic diamond would be the size of a little marble. But they found some really good diamonds in there, some really pretty big ones. And you pay your money and you go in and you can walk around and look, and they plow the field. They just plowed the field last week. And I'd like to go look, but I don't want to go without Bill, so. But I would like to go back over there. But we were in there one year. Oh, it's been 5 or 6 years ago, I guess. We were in there walking up and down the rows looking, and I looked up and everybody's doing the same thing we were doing, walking up and down the rows looking at their feet. And I said, this is like the Valley of the Living Dead. You know, everybody's walking around like looking at their feet. Just mesmerized looking for diamonds on the ground. It was really funny. So, but he got bored with it pretty quick, because it's hard to find anything there. You have to either be super lucky and just look down and see one, or you have to get buckets and buckets of material and wash it and sift it and do all this other stuff. And if you're lucky, you'll find some little bitty diamonds. So it's a lot of hard work, but the crystal mines are a different story. That's easy pickings there. You can go in there and fill up a bucket with them babies and take them and put them all over your house and all over your yard. And some of them have like a red stain to them from the dirt. But you take those home and put them in a bucket with water and add some rust out, something that'll, you know, eat the rust off of them, and it'll clear them up and they'll be perfectly clear. They're really pretty. They're nice crystals. Some of them are gigantic too. There are some really big ones. So that's the stuff in this region that interests me. That, and then there are bears up here. And I know this because I saw one run over up here one time. Never seen a live one, but I expect one of these days I will. But I keep coming over this. And there are some really aggressive drivers that drive up through here. Some really, really aggressive people. Always have been. They'll about run you off the road. So you got to stay on your toes. And the speed limit is 55 up through here. So the ones that are being all that aggressive are being kind of jerks. You know, because they're wanting to speed. This is not a good road to be speeding on either. It's real twisty, turny, and climbing, and you know, the whole routine. wonder why I'm sitting in the fast lane. I'm staying in the left turn lane because there's a turn lane down the middle, and people have been turning right all along beside me. So when I'm going through an area like that where it's got a turn lane to the left and then there's a lane to the right where people can turn off, I try and stay in call it the middle lane if you want to. So I don't have to stop every time somebody turns left or right. They can just peel off and I can just keep going. But we're fixing to lose this lane anyway. We run out of it right up here. That's all she wrote for double lanes. Okay, evidently the GPS finally figured out where we are and how to get me home, because it's showing 316 miles, which is much more better than what it was trying to do. Considerably better. And we'll just tell it to take us home and take out the middleman. It's 317 miles. I reset it and now it's saying 320 miles, so it added something to the route that it wasn't supposed to add. I don't know what it added. It doesn't matter. I won't pay attention to it anyway. I won't mind it. I'll do my own route. I know where I need to go. I've driven this road night and day for years. I don't know, I've probably driven it, I don't know, maybe 100 times. Maybe not that many. Maybe 50 times or 75 times, I don't know. I used to come over here a lot though. A lot. There were a lot of times I'd get a call to come pick up a load of something at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when they were just getting ready to shut down the plant or switch over to the night shift. And I'd have to run in there and grab it, cover it all up on the back of the truck, and then haul it up over the hills here. So it was usually a couple of pallets of stuff. And it couldn't be gotten wet, so I always had to tarp these loads that I would haul. Then I'd bring them over here and drop them off to get them powder coated. And I don't remember ever coming over and picking them up and bringing them back, so I think they must have got sent somewhere else after that. Okay, so we are getting into DeQueen, Arkansas, which is going to be my brake stop site. Sorry about all that. I was on the phone with Bill the whole way over. I mean, I'm not sorry that I was on the phone with Bill, but I'm sorry that I wasn't narrating for you. But I hope you enjoyed the music interlude coming up through there, because that's the entire trip over from Hot Springs to DeQueen. And I still have half a tank of fuel. I'm getting exponentially good fuel mileage. I'm getting 18.2 miles to the gallon right now. And I've got 413 miles of fuel left on the truck, and I'm 250 miles from home, so go figure. It's crazy. Pretty damn crazy. Ladies look like they're having an interesting discussion. This guy's been behind me the whole way over. This guy, this Pathfinder here. And he did not crowd me once or push me or anything. But I was going as fast as I felt like I could go and not get a ticket, really. I'm really surprised I never saw a trooper. Historically, I've seen troopers in there. And it seems a little odd to me that I didn't see any. So I don't know if, like, Arkansas's cutting back on trooper money or what. Who knows? But there's a convenience store up here on the right, kind of heading out of town. I'm going to stop up here and have a break, catch up my logbook, get a cup of coffee, all that stuff. I think there's one up here on the right anyway. I think it's a new one they put in the last few years. It didn't used to be here when I ran this way, but I think it is now. Unless I'm imagining it, but I think there's one out here. There did not used to be. Didn't used to be one. DeQueen, Arkansas. I think this is where Colin Ray is from DeQueen. I think this is his hometown. Little fair in town. That's cool. The spring fair. This did used to be here. Maybe I just never stopped here. That could be. It looks like it's been here a while. Or maybe, I don't know, it's not that old looking, is it? I don't know. Anyway. Stop and have my little break. I shall return.